You're welcome. It's time for Wellness Central, where we explore important topics in health and wellness. And October is recognized globally as the International Month for Dyslexia, a time to raise awareness about this learning difficulty and advocate for better understanding, diagnosis, and also support. Now, dyslexia affects millions of people worldwide, including children and adults here in Nigeria especially. Despite its prevalence, there is still very limited awareness and support for those who live with dyslexia in the country.
And so today we are going to be discussing this, and to do that we're joined by Dr. Adrienne Tikolo. She's the founder of Dyslexia Nigeria, an organization committed to raising awareness, providing education and supporting those affected by dyslexia. We'll be discussing the challenges faced by individuals with dyslexia in Nigeria and the progress being made to support them. Doctor, welcome to the program.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Where is that?
It's actually your name. It's from Ondo State.
Okay. Wow, interesting.
That's beautiful.
I never knew. Anyway, I know Koloko, and that's Delta. So yeah, there we go.
Dakolo.
Dakolo as well.
But,
yeah.
it just sounds the same, but it's not the same.
Okay.
Well, welcome to the program. Let's get started, shall we? And just help our audience to understand, what exactly is dyslexia and how one can get dyslexia. What is dyslexia?
Demystify it.
Thank you. So dyslexia is a learning difference. It's a way the brain processes language, and it shows up as a difficulty with reading and writing and spelling. All those areas of language, so speech, spelling, writing, composition, comprehension, all of those areas, and sometimes memory and organization. But it also comes with strengths. So the people would also have strengths in other areas like problem solving, creativity, thinking outside the box and all of that. So some strengths and some difficulty, but usually centered around language.
So while you're trying to demystify it, does this also include, this is just letters, is it, or does it include numbers as well?
Well, it doesn't include numbers. So numbers is another type of learning difference. So you could have dyscalculia. So this is difficulty with. So dyslexia is difficulty with words, lexia word.
Okay.
Dyscalculia is difficulty with numbers. So there are also people that have dyscalculia, but they can co-occur. So you can have a difficulty with letters and numbers at the same time.
And how exactly does it happen? Why does it happen? You say it's an individual thing, and you also refer to it as not a disability. So what exactly is it?
So it's a difference. So imagine the way we all look different physically. We're also different in the ways that our brains process information. And so for those that have dyslexia, they're sort of like more right-brained. That's what I'll say. So the brain has two hemispheres, okay, two sides to it. And both sides are, used for different things. So some people are sort of tilt more towards the right side of the brain for processing language. And so that side of the brain is more creative, thinking outside the box, intuitive thinking and all of that. And the left side is more analytical, language processing, mathematics and things like that. So if you tend to use more of the right side of your brain, then you have a tendency to be more right brain and to do those things easier than those for the left side of the brain. It's largely inherited. Okay, it's a gene that you heard from your parents or grandparents.
So it has nothing to do with your ability, with your, Judith, help me out. When you're in school and you're not good at school or not good at...
But that is some of the consequences of having dyslexia.
It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not intelligent, does it?
Oh, no. Dyslexia has nothing to do with intelligence.
Right. So then how, I'm watching this from home, help our viewers, just watching as a parent, what are the signs, and even as an educator, what are the signs that you need to look out for to say, okay, maybe this child has dyslexia? I knew with the family member when the person kept mixing P for Q, the small letter P and Q, and whenever they'd write, that's why I was like, this is most likely dyslexia. But how should parents know?
Thank you, and that's probably one of the signs. Now, dyslexia shows up slightly differently across the lifespan because it is who you are, it's inherited, so it could have different signs across the lifespan. But when the child is in preschool and nursery, you'd find that he has difficulty rhyming, so the nursery rhymes, you have difficulty with that. You have difficulty with learning his alphabet and the alphabet signs. You have difficulty with, so marrying the sounds with the letters, that's the main difficulty you'd find. Sometimes they can be ambidextrous, so using the right hand and using the left hand at the same time. And then they would mix up the alphabets, okay, B's and D's.
You have to stop now because it's like as if you're talking about someone I know who might be me. I don't know, because I'm ambidextrous. I used to switch my letters this way or that from a very young age, and I had difficulty with specific letters, specific sounds and letters. So is it something that you can go on to be cured of? Or is it something you live with your entire life?
Right, so I wouldn't use the word cured because then it presupposes a disease. It's not. Okay. It's a state of being. So yes, you can alleviate, almost completely eliminate the difficulty that may come with it, but you cannot stop being dyslexic, the same way you can't change the color of your eyes, for instance.
I'm sure that there's stigma with this and, just cultural norms that have plagued people who either, like you described, had issues, learning issues, and they've had issues trying to integrate into classroom in the system, and also had it difficult with teachers. What has it been like for your foundation, just raising awareness about this?
It's been an uphill task, I have to say. A lot of teachers are unaware of the signs of dyslexia. That's a problem. Also parents, they don't know the signs. And so when a child is struggling, they're wondering, you're this smart, you're quite articulate, they're usually very good verbally, they're good communicators, but then you can't read, really. So you're either too playful, you're dumb, you're watching too much TV. There's always
just distracted.
Or you're distracted or all of that. So they're not providing the support. They don't know the signs. They're just labeling the child, So it's really been an uphill task. I visit some schools and the school owner would say, oh, no, we don't have any dyslexic individuals here. And dyslexia occurs 1 in 5 persons.
Oh, wow, is that prevalent?
20% of any population is dyslexic.
So why does it seem we're hiding it? Why does it seem we're running away? Why is that stigma, like Judith just referred to? Why is there that stigma?
Because we also have a culture that says you're adolodo if you can't read. We have a society or a world that has equated intelligence to reading and learning to read. And so you want to hide away. I mean, you're with your peers, you can't read a simple book, a simple sentence. It's difficult. You're spelling and the spelling errors and all of it. Everybody wants to shy away. They don't want to be seen to be the one that is dumb.
Everyone wants an intelligent child. My child is intelligent.
My child is smart.
What's the effect on the child who's being subjected to these, what do you call them?
A lot of psychological, mental health issues, and that is why there's a huge connection between dyslexia and mental health. Because there's a lot of frustration, anger, there's juvenile delinquency. I mean, I need help, you don't know, you don't see it, you're not providing help. There's a lot of frustration. There's misbehavior, there's stress, there's anxiety, there's depression, even in children, let alone adults, of course.
What are some, when it comes to support, right? I think that one of the things that I learned was that support groups are very important for children like these because they don't seem to see them, like you said, 1 in 5, 20%, they don't see themselves. Oftentimes, they don't even know what the signs are because there are some dyslexic children that have masked their signs, right? And so, in your work, what has been the most difficult thing in terms of providing support, either for the families or for the children and for the schools?
Well, the most difficult thing I've found is the lack of awareness with teachers, because teachers are the ones in the face of this in school.
Right.
So teachers are not trained, they're unaware, so they do not know how to support the child. And when the child does not receive support, the difficulties become even more. So that's the main thing. That if teachers were trained, imagine the impact one teacher would have on as many children. You're seeing this child every day, all the time. Half the time, the parents don't know what is going on anyway. So teachers not being trained, not being unaware is one of the main stumbling blocks. But beyond that, there's also the lack of resources, lack of awareness, that hinders all of that.
So there are no ready available resources to support even teachers. Is it a case of lack of funding, or is it just a case of not even knowing?
A lack of attention.
It's not really knowing. I mean, you don't need, the most expensive resource to remediate dyslexia. You need to focus. You need to give one-on-one tuition in some cases. You need to pay attention. You know, you need to teach in a slightly different way. You need to differentiate. They're easy things to do, but you don't do that when you don't know it. You can't solve a problem you don't know exists.
So let's talk about this remediation.
Yeah.
Exactly how does it, what form does it take?
So usually would say schools should do a sort of universal screening. So identify those that are showing the signs of dyslexia already. And then this would mean you're doing phonological awareness training. So just one-on-one linking letters and sounds and doing those lessons is largely educational. You know, phonics training, you're doing some memory strategies, you're working around strategies with writing and comprehension. It's just really teaching the child at their pace with different materials, multisensory teaching.
So when you identify the children, it's not a case of trying to help alleviate the issue, is it? It's changing your way or a means of teaching them.
Absolutely.
So it's not the kids now, it's actually the authority.
It's never the kid. It's never the kid. Imagine you have a plant in a pot and the plant is withering. You'd never think it was the plant. You think, oh, is it the soil? Do I need to put more water? Should I take it out in the sun? It's always the environment around the plant. It's the same with the child. It's never the child. It's always the environment around the child, the type of teaching, the type of understanding, the resources you provide, the time that you use. Those are the important things.
And when you propose these to schools, how do they take it when parents find out that their kids are dyslexic? How do you convince them that these are the methods to go with?
I mean, every parent wants the best for their child. First, you need to prove that you understand what you're doing. You don't just tell a parent, well, your child isn't doing well in school, and you have no solution, you don't know what it is. So once you know what it is, you show parents the signs. I mean, look, you already said, this sounds like me. A parent would know his child. You tell them, we notice this, this, this. Yes, that sounds like my child. What are we going to do? So the school must be equipped with the knowledge. You must be aware. You must have basic training in understanding dyslexia and how to remediate. You must be ready to provide the resources and provide the environment, which is important.
What if the parents are reluctant? Because that's a factor as well. Parents choosing, I rebuke it to my child in the mighty name of Jesus. I pray for you. You will be. There's always that as well.
What you often get.
I'm happy if parents pray. Prayer is good, but it's not going to work. In this instance, you need to take action. And like I said, if you tell parents the signs, they recognize that, yes, I've seen this in my child. And they're more open. But usually, I think what they kick against is when you're doing the universal screening. Why are you screening my child? I mean, my child has nothing. But we've seen some signs. But why are you screening I don't want to have anything to do with screening.
Let's talk about, because we're pressed for time, let's talk about, the technological advancements that we've seen, right? And the place of Dyslexia Nigeria. What have you been doing? What is Dyslexia Nigeria been doing lately since its inception and just trying to address this? And have you been able to adopt technology in your strategy when it comes to remedying?
Oh, absolutely. We used to have in-person trainings, for instance, for teachers, and would get inquiries from Kano, Kaduna, and places like that, and we just couldn't go there. So we had to adopt technology. And we do have a platform, learning platform now, where we have courses that teachers can take in their own time, for instance. Right. There's also the provision of other assistive technologies, so reading pens that help. We do visit schools to talk about dyslexia, raise awareness. We do free screenings. This month we're having some free screening and free trainings. Like I said, there's some things that will help if government, for instance, provided the environment, but we're doing what we can.
Right. And lastly, for final words for our viewers at home and those that are watching and who's seen the signs and feel like, maybe my child is, but I'm too expensive, it's too expensive. What can they do at home right now to aid their children?
First, don't be in denial. Take an action, take a step.
Right.
So speak to the school. Yes, speak to the school. Be your child's advocate. Go to the school. I've noticed this. What can we do? Can we get a basic screening? It doesn't have to be, full diagnostic assessment. Just to say, is this child at risk? And then what are the materials I need to buy? What do I need to do? Take action. Don't say it's not this, it's not that. Don't live in denial.
Action. That's beautiful.
Take action.
I just wanted to say, I'm father to a almost 9-year-old. She'll be 9 years next week. And she's an impeccable speller. And sometimes when I look at her, I'm like, I'm so far apart from what this girl is when I was a kid. So can I make a pledge right now? Whatever you need to make this word louder, I would like to be a part of it. And
Oh my days, I'm about to fall out of my chair.
don't. But yes,
you.
because I feel a special connection to this cause.
Thank you so
yes,
much.
That's how I'm going to end the show here today
Well,
with
Mose,
Dr.
thank
Tikolo.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
yes, thank you for, well, carrying this cause on your shoulders. We
Thank
do need people like you to help.
you.